Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys on Sports. It is us, the Core Four. They're calling us online. Core Four, that's what they're saying.
Really? It's all over the place.
Super strong Core Four. We all have very
Trouble
strong
in paradise.
cores.
That's what I think.
We are all so
There's a lot
happy
of
to be
dissension.
here. We're happy to be here. We're happy you're here. Stick around. You might learn something today because we're going to be talking about the way too early top 5 wide receivers for fantasy football for the 2024 season. Super Bowl also happened. Hey, spoiler alert, the Super Bowl happened. There was a winner. There was a loser. There's a little bit of stuff in between that we're going to talk about. So we're gonna hash out the Super Bowl breakdown, you could call it. Before we get into that, we'll do TikTok take. But before we do that, you guys have a good time?
Speaking of the Super Bowl and the Core Four, how many of the Core Four here were invited to the Super Bowl party in the studio?
You guys were all, well, he was invited a day earlier.
Well,
Technically, we were all invited, Mark.
I was
who?
invited like
Jared King.
35 minutes beforehand.
Hey, you got invited when I got invited.
Was he? Was I?
That
Mine
the
was
same.
actually in
Yeah,
the mail.
in
I had
our,
like a little wax stamp on it.
In my
It's
league's
cute.
chat, Jared invited you
Oh,
guys.
well, I
And then
don't.
we got
I don't read
I
that
got a
chat.
family. Like I don't.
Well,
But
that was
whatever.
fine, but your family doesn't. It's not. I mean,
My
come on.
family exists.
It's not real. They all left the house.
I got a wife.
It's just you and your wife. That's not your family.
That's family.
It's a girlfriend.
Wow. So girlfriend isn't family?
Not really.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say
Well,
so.
it's easy for him. He has a girlfriend and cat, so yeah, that's family to him.
I've got
Your
it.
family is your
But
daughter.
he's got
got a
options.
cat.
Selena Gomez
All
comes
right.
along. He's out the door.
Yeah,
I
that's
look,
true.
I look better than Benny Blanco.
Bo Derek comes along. At this point in life, is fair game,
There's
right?
quite a difference between children and cats
No,
and
no difference.
nobody. You
No
know,
difference.
big difference.
No difference.
Nobody's waiting for you.
gotta-
Trisha's not waiting on
Listen, there are certain
pins
events.
and needles for you to get home.
There are certain events that a man is allowed to enjoy on his own.
Well, I'm allowed to do anything I want. Number
Nah,
one.
I don't think you were.
I think I am.
You were like, my
Sounds
family.
like, that sounds like insecurity.
No,
Yeah, he was
actually,
afraid. You were afraid to get
I could do anything I set my mind to.
No, I
anything
could
she
do-
allows.
no.
I just
Or
want
maybe
to
if
put
you don't
this out
send an
there.
invite the night before.
It was 2
In
nights
our
before.
studio?
It was 2 nights
Right?
before.
I'm just
pretty
going to
sure
put
it was
this out
night
there.
of.
I would
It's
not
crazy.
have come, but I was still hurt that I wasn't invited.
Man, we had the big TV rolled up there, a lot of food.
I have a big TV at home.
Who was
I have
it?
my own party.
Was it you and Jared?
Yeah, me too.
No, it was.
I did.
Ended up being about 6 people.
Dissensions.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's huge.
Just guys. Didn't have to.
Just guys
I
being
mean,
guys.
Yeah, we could
I've
fast
invited
forward through
you.
the
I
Taylor
invite
Swift.
you.
You didn't invite me.
Invite you.
Hey, I've been over.
Nope, you came once.
Yeah, I am.
That's a lot.
Invite. Stop
How
coming.
many times have you
Stop
invited-
rolling out the invites.
How many times did you invite me? I'm pretty sure you said, "Hey, we should go. We should see a Giants game, an Eagles game together," and that's
Yeah.
what we did.
Yeah, that's the invite.
Yeah, I got my track record.
I'm not going to keep texting you. You up? You up? You coming? What do you want me to do?
I'm 1 for 1.
No, you know what? Let's not go down this road. But
Just be
the invites
thankful-
have been sent out.
I-
They're no
Just
longer
be thankful that
coming.
you live in a different town, or
I
else you
did-
get the knock on the door in the morning.
I did kind of give Mark
Coming?
the 2
Coming over or
a.m.
what?
the 2 a.m. text.
Well,
What you doing?
I didn't see
You know,
it.
like I did. I kind of gave him that, like, you still
Man.
up, babe? You know, like that kind of text.
God
Mark's
damn.
your real wife.
It was.
Your wife's your girlfriend.
He's a sure bet.
I
A
was
wife
hurting.
with no kids is a girlfriend.
I was
Let's be
hurting.
honest.
That's a hot take.
Wow. You know what?
I
I'm
don't
going
think
to
it's that
have
high.
Trish listen
Hey, let us
to
know in the
this.
comments below.
I don't know, man, because like I think about when I get to that time. I think you're right, but
It is.
again, like, I think it also rekindles
with a piece,
things,
with
right?
a piece of paper and a ring. I
It
mean,
rekindles things.
it's a
right?
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you haven't had sex in every room in your house at this point, then I mean, are you a man?
Every room?
Every
I don't
room?
know. Every
Bathroom?
room. His kids have been out of the house for a while.
I get too active for an
That
addict.
makes
Just
me.
because you can. It's
I know
right
my
in your
fault.
territory.
I don't know that I want to go to his house when I think of that.
Well, I mean, I'm
Well,
not
you're
saying that I want to
invited.
go to his house. I'm saying
about the
if we're at
nursery?
my house.
Nursery's crazy.
Nursery. Yeah.
Nursery's where it all starts.
That's happened.
Yeah, that's
PJ's
sure.
been around a
Technically
couple
true.
weeks now.
Man, that Foster smells like Foster's. I'll tell you what.
It sure does.
All right, cool.
Can of oil.
That was an intro. The Core 4. Look at us. Trademark pending.
We're happy to be back all in the same
There's
room.
a lot of hate and tension going around.
There is.
Speaking of that.
There's a lot of undermining, a lot of.
Speaking of that.
Yeah,
shit
go ahead.
talking.
TikTok
We
takes.
got
For the love of
hatred
God.
online. We love that.
I hope it's
About-
regarding you this time.
I'm glad you said that, Mark, because the first comment is from E on TikTok.
He's a good
Because
guy.
I said that I would draft. I said I would take Rashee Rice pretty heavily, and hey, maybe we'll talk about him later on this top 5 show. Who
I
knows?
hope, I hope you talk about him
Well,
in this top
We're
five.
going to talk about him right now because I said that I would take like Devonta Smith,
Yeah.
Rice, and that's it in that category of like round 3
You
to
could
5.
just edit that clip in right here.
I don't do the long form.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you clip it,
I could do that. Good
Yeah,
idea.
there you
Hey,
go.
good idea.
instead of saying it.
So E said there is no
Ideas
way this
birthed right on air.
there's no way this isn't satire, and I'm a Chiefs fan with 13 likes. So the Chiefs fan said that I'm crazy for
Yeah.
being so high on Rice, but I don't know. I think it could happen. I think
Can I
he's-
ask you a question? Can you see
could be the
when he
guy.
became a Chiefs fan? Was it after Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce?
this comment was
Because
5
that's
days
what
ago.
it sounds like. This dude sounds like a casual.
He is Elliot, female,
Elliot's a girl's name?
most of the time.
Is it?
Most of the time?
I have 3 Elliots in my store. All 3 are girls.
Were they always girls? I'm sassy.
He had a girlfriend a long time ago that was named
Elliot.
Elliot.
Elliot's a dude name for
Elliot
sure.
is the kid from E.T. After that,
Did they
Dude.
apply for the
Any Elliot I've ever
transgender
known
for the
is a-
Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
transgender scholarship?
I am saying we have 3 Elliots.
There's no way Chick-fil-A
all
has one of
women.
those.
They'd have to be open on Sundays if they did that.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Yeah, long story short, I think Rice is worth the price. John from TikTok said Addison and T. Higgins over Zay Flowers because they were all in the same ADP as well. So would you take Jordan Addison,
Yes.
T. Higgins over Zay Flowers?
I don't know about Higgins, but I would take Addison.
I don't think so.
I think
I
it depends
think
on where
so.
Higgins ends up, but Addison, I would take Addison.
That's a big
because
part.
Really, I think Zay Flowers is kind of going to do what he did last year. He's really the sole benefactor of being like the only young, talented wide receiver on his team. And Lamar Jackson's there and had an MVP season.
Flowers is legit.
And
Lamar
OBJ is now
Jackson-
dating Kim K.
Lamar
So,
Jackson.
Distraction.
Lamar Jackson, I mean, how many touchdowns did he throw?
Yeah, but Zay Flowers still performed.
Lamar is
How many
Wait.
touchdowns did he throw?
The target share that Zay Flowers has is insane. I'd love to take that over Jefferson.
I like Zay Flowers, but Addison had a nice year.
OBJ is
well,
dating
and
Kim K?
Addison.
Well, they've been
you're
seen
expecting
together.
JJ to be gone.
Wait, ma?
I mean, it's a good
How do you know
chance
she
JJ will be
liked,
gone.
Shit on chests.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Addison will be the number 1.
We need a new joke for OBJ. That's old. I mean, it's like 4 years
No,
ago.
but I mean it fits, right? Because I mean, like we've seen her antics in the bedroom too with Ray J, right?
if you
I
call
mean, I
that,
think anything goes. I think this is
You're-
a perfect pairing. This is
you're a
this is
Rolodex.
a power couple.
I don't know.
When it comes to
It was a little tame for my taste. but
freaking in the bedroom, this is a power
They
couple.
were just having sex. So
Mark follows TMZ on Instagram, probably.
yeah, he does.
It's crazy.
I think
Infinite
Mark, is that
possibilities in
like
that
you-
relationship, guys. Never
If,
close your mind.
If a number 1 career choice for you would be a heavily paid fantasy football guru, would number 2 be TMZ?
You could probably handle all the berating. You're a big guy.
Yeah,
People probably ask
I
you
don't
to
mind.
answer your
You
questions.
dude, I've been a nurse for the longest time. You gotta have fucking thick skin.
I don't think
nobody
you
likes you as a nurse.
Hey, honestly, I would say that TMZ
You're right.
reporters
Nobody
were-
likes you.
Nobody likes you. You gotta have thick skin. I
TMZ
don't give a
does the
shit.
Lord's work.
TMZ reporters probably have a harder job than nurses do.
My God, that is the most ridiculous thing.
You don't know nothing about what a TMZ reporter
Dude,
does.
I know.
Hey,
it's-
thank you for
it's
your
gotta-
service,
it's tough.
TMZ reporters.
I mean, they are
So
frontline
tough.
workers.
They are essential
During
workers.
COVID, they were out there in the
How are
front
you gonna
line.
know?
Yeah, crazy.
How you gonna know?
I'm
who
not
OBJ
tolerating
shitting on?
disrespect to the TMZ work. I don't like what you guys are doing.
No, I'm saying
Whoa.
they were out there in the front line.
Well, I
They were
think you
doing
guys
the
are,
Lord's work.
Reporting important news, by the way.
you're paying attention.
Oh man,
What
You're
is
definitely
what
paying
is
attention.
TMZ?
Addison Ray, what
I
type
don't
of
know.
cappuccino
What
are
does
you
it stand for?
feeling today?
what does TMZ stand for?
I don't know. Is that the one that Portnoy runs?
No, that's
No,
Barstool.
it's-
Come on.
Too much zaddy.
Too much.
And that's a
Wow.
transition.
The third and
There
final
you go.
comment is from user 4105876433365, who said, "Oh, they'll
Unnecessary.
settle your fear. That fear being Rocky's fear about the Niners not being a legit team.
And
Don't go crazy with this because we're gonna talk Super Bowl later. But
Yeah, I mean, because
And they didn't.
Yeah.
and they did not. Case closed.
They didn't.
Sorry, user infinity
Yeah.
symbol.
First of all, quit being lazy. Choose a damn name.
yeah, honestly.
What if
I
he
mean, come
picked
on.
that one?
Trying to be incognito.
What if it's a burner account? What if it's Zach's burner account?
My
No,
burner account
that's
would be
Jared
crazier.
Dudley something.
Doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah. Well, that's just my account. I don't really have
Should
a
be a
real
burner.
TikTok. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, cool. So yeah, thanks for commenting. Continue to do so. Continue to like our stuff on the socials at GON Podcast. We
Socials.
appreciate it.
Socials.
And before we get into our way too early top 5, we also appreciate our sponsor, Thrive Fantasy.
Hey,
Thank
Thrive.
you, Thrive, for partnering with us today for the episode. If you're not already doing your gambling, your betting through Thrive, you should definitely do so because not only do you get free prop squares, like you used to get Pat Mahomes 0.5 passing
Whoa.
yards. Now you're probably getting LeBron James 0.5 points. They do NBA, they do
Yeah.
football, they do a whole lot of stuff. You get free prop scores add to your parlay, but you also take advantage of the $250 instant match deposit that they offer for our listeners. Click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen. Or go on Thrive, type in promo code GUYS, capital GUYS, and you get up to $250 matched on your first deposit. So, get a nice chunk of change in there that you can play around with. And it supports the show, it supports them, and it supports your pocket. So please do that.
Thrive.
Didn't you win some money on this game?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I lost
I guess
some.
we can get into it.
You lost
later.
money?
I made
You bet on the 49ers?
No.
After shitting on Birdie, you bet on the
I threw a
49ers?
couple $100,
Yeah.
couple $100
On what?
on Bet USA, which is an illegal gambling
Why
company.
did you
Why
do
are you
that?
doxing yourself, man?
And why
Because,
did you
I
not
bet-
just
Phil,
because
dub
it
that over
returned-
and say
No.
ebay.com.
staying?
It returned for every $100 you got $1,250, and all that had to happen
Sounds like a pyramid scheme.
was Kelsey had to put his knee to the ground.
You
and
bet
propose-
on
I
that?
did, man.
Oh,
I
that's
did.
stupid.
I was going to win like 15 grand.
No,
It's
you
worth a
weren't.
shot.
There was
Well,
zero chance that was happening.
You
worth
know
a
those
shot.
offshore accounts, right? They're not
worth a
like,
shot, man.
but not really because they could just hold your winnings.
They
No, I
can.
already got the money for like the other ones that I bet. I already got the money.
Oh, so he's a repeat offender on this illegal streaming website.
Yeah, they typically only do it when you like
Color
6
lipstick,
figures.
red, knew it, got it. Won some
Gatorade,
money.
purple Gatorade
Won
was
some money.
minus 200.
The
and it
feds
hit
call
for
this
minus
building a
180.
case.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Because they're tapped in. Hey, if you're going to build a case, at least consider subscribing as
Yeah,
well.
and
Just throw a
and
bone,
like the
maybe.
video.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a couple of subs out of it, so
Yeah.
we're okay with that. Anyway,
Yeah, so who
I
wants to
want
go
money.
first? We're going to do our way too early and
I want
potentially just what my list is going to be because I don't feel like I'm going to be changing this a lot. I feel pretty concrete
Boring.
about my choices. So we'll wait because I don't have
Wow.
the choices yet. Phil, do you want to start?
No,
wait a minute,
don't.
you don't have any choice.
Come on, you can have a little fun. dude.
So-
This is my list. It's the same way the whole season. I swear, AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you
not
know,
like the AJ Brown.
two of yours are going to be Brown and Smith.
No. Okay.
Top five.
Okay. Drake London, top 12 fantasy wide receiver.
Is Drake
Bozo.
London a wide receiver?
AJ Brown.
Yeah,
Drake,
he is.
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
a
he
wide
was in your
receiver.
top 12.
I forgot.
And
I
following with
confused him with
Garrett
Drake
Wilson
May.
too.
Old Drakey.
So how do we want to do this? We want to go one by one. Do we just want to rip the top 5 for clipping purposes?
I think
and then
we
explain?
should go what we did last week. We each said our ones,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of reacted a little bit. Went through our twos, and
Yeah.
there'll be obviously crossover.
Okay, cool.
And then you kind of, don't empty the clip, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you?
We're going from 5 to 1, right?
Sure. No, the other way. Because the other way you said the ones are
Oh,
obvious,
yeah, it was
right?
better,
So
yeah.
we went the other way.
Yeah, that was better. That was better.
So hey,
I like that idea.
Rick-
Because then you get the 5, and then
Like,
you're like,
is he gonna make
my
it? Is he gonna
God!
make it?
I'd love
Holy
to
shit.
get
Carol, you
everyone's.
check number
What?
5.
What?
Not a wide receiver. I'd love to get everyone's top 5, and so it's easy for me. Let's all like maybe raise our hands or something, so I know when you're talking about number 1, number 2, number 3. Like how like on guys on draft, I
We
can
could
see
Let
you
me raise
writing.
my hand.
we could even say number 1.
That's good. That's good. Let's do that.
That's better.
And maybe like a backflip or something. Cool.
Fuck this guy.
Garage wall,
No, I had
which would
about
probably
enough.
break because
Had enough.
We're in
People
a
don't know,
slump.
but this is actually just carpet
Well,
or
I think they know.
drapes that we can walk through. There's another wall behind us that we have the other show. It's actually
man.
I think they know.
the magic behind.
I think they know. We gotta.
Just
We gotta
kidding, we produce porn. It's right behind here.
I think what we should
It's
do
a bunch
is
of glory
ask
holes.
our subs and our listeners how we're gonna redo this. What should the theme be?
Redo what? The
Our
lighting?
set.
We are?
The
Yes.
walls?
Yes, we are. Our walls are falling down. I
What-
don't know if you can see.
What
or
are we
not.
getting redone?
I would propose no eagle shit first off. I
No,
think
it is kind of amazing how those sons of bitches ended up on the wall.
It's the most
I
recent
mean,
Super Bowl of any of our
two
fucking
no
teams. So
talents.
yeah, it stays until your team wins the Super Bowl and you get to put newspaper
But
up.
you guys only won one, though. I mean, it doesn't really count.
Because that makes sense.
It kind
They
of
won.
does.
Didn't they win another one? And no, wait. That was Dick Vermeil cried with the the
Yeah,
Rams.
no, they didn't win.
Oh, did Joe
Kinda
Flacco
doesn't-
get smacked by the Texans?
Kind of doesn't count, though.
It did.
Back to back pick six. Yeah, it was not a good
Yeah,
day.
comeback player of the year. All right, where are we? Number 1. Who wants to go first?
You know, I was about to say something crazy.
Yeah, you were going to say something about how he should not have won comeback player of the year.
No. He should have won. No,
Guy
but
comes
I
back
mean,
from the dead.
Mayfield
he
should have
doesn't
won.
get it.
but he
Well-
didn't play.
Was he got to wait 3 days and then come back? And then
Who? No, I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to say something.
I mean,
you
every,
know what?
every time we perform successful
Ease
CPR,
up, guy.
I mean,
I wasn't talking
I'm
about
giving people
Flacco,
awards.
okay?
We only have like 3 tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin. I mean, he came back, kind of.
They should name the award after him, like Phil said. That's a good little
Maybe.
compromise.
His play was a little flatlined.
Oh my gosh, I didn't catch that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's like a plague.
Trash. Yeah.
Someone had to say it. You knew it was
Okay.
going to be me. For
All
crying
right,
out loud.
round one. I hate to say it. I hated this guy last year. Yeah. Round one for the idiot over there. I'm going with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb.
Boo. You just berated him for being like, I'm going to do this list again. Don't hold me to
Phil,
Did you hear my whole list? Did you hear my
I
whole
don't
list?
care. You went chalk.
Phil, I thought
That's
CeeDee
not
Lamb.
exciting.
I thought
Take Michael
CeeDee Lamb was
Gallup
gonna
at
do
One
number
at a
one. That
time.
shit's exciting.
One at a time.
Oh, right. I think weren't you famous for saying that CeeDee Lamb was
Well, I wasn't famous,
be out
and
of-
I just said I hate
out
to
of the
say
top
it.
15?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna,
then he was on fire for the second half of the
Yeah.
season.
I'm going to
Yeah.
jump into my number one.
Unlike you idiots,
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I'm not stubborn and hold on to my takes.
So
If
you're-
they're
there you
wrong,
go.
I switch.
I like it.
That's buying pretty large on somebody that I don't know. I like to zig instead of zag. I don't think he's gonna
I
finish
don't
his top
know.
one.
Good for you.
I'm pretty famous for saying, what's his face, that jerk off from the
Tony
Raiders
Pollard?
2 years ago,
Okay. Oh.
being number one, and he was, and then last year keeping him off, Josh Jacobs, and it happened.
And you never let us
So
forget
there you
it.
go. You flip flop. Guess what? He's going to be back this year.
You're gonna break that button. You keep pushing
I'm
it.
gonna
Okay.
do
I
my
will.
number one because I agree with Phil.
Ah,
CeeDee
there you go.
Lamb. In a way too early wide receiver
Wide receiver?
draft.
Wide receiver?
right? You got to go with the hottest from the end of last season. It
Yeah.
was CeeDee
No,
Lamb.
you're right with this
and
list, yeah.
This could change. It will change.
Now,
Me.
like, and to shut up. Okay, shut the fuck up. I said, be adventurous, but don't be. You have to have a realistic list.
Oh, I do.
Who do you have in here?
Here's adventurous.
Like DJ Moore,
For
number
my number one, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. How could you not take this dude number
I
one
mean,
overall?
there's a few
that
reasons.
offense is electric.
Few
that
reasons.
motherfucker likes to bite kneecaps. They never punt. They never kick field goals, even in the NFC Championship
Did you
game.
stick your finger up?
All they want to do
The other finger.
is move the chains, and there's no better chain mover in the league than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Hey, first downs ain't touchdowns, cuz.
Huh?
Huh?
Don't matter.
It does matter,
In a
actually.
PPR league, receptions and yardage, Ardo.
6 catches equals 1
Babushka.
touchdown.
No,
so-
my man averages almost double-digit receptions.
Was he
Averages
number one this
double-digit-
year? Was he number one this year?
Oh, so let's keep going back to that well.
The idiot.
Yeah, I'm on Ra.
I don't even know what any of you guys just said.
I know.
It'll be
matter.
fair. Why don't you give
It's
us
good
your
content,
number
though.
My number one is a wide receiver that has the second highest floor and the second highest ceiling. It's Tyreek Hill. Why would I not take Tyreek Hill number one?
I don't know. Why would
one?
you
Many
not?
reasons.
I'm
I
thinking-
have a few reasons.
Because Tua is his quarterback. Their
No.
strength of
This is
schedule
the
goes
last-
up this year.
This is the last single-handedly potent prime of Tyreek's career. This is it.
So says you.
It's the year that I'm deciding not to. If I'm in the top 5 picks, and Tyreek Hill's at my disposal, every year I've passed on Tyreek Hill, and he's been like 8th or 9th overall.
Yeah.
And he's been at least a top 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, but now you're going to be chasing it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Chasing it.
Every year he's not going to be the number 1 wide receiver off the board.
Until you pick him. So if he don't take him number 1, because that means he's going to flop because you're
I'm
going to
taking
take him.
Tyreek Hill.
Well,
He wasn't. This is a zag instead of a zig.
Let me know what leagues
Nobody
you're
cares
in,
about your
'cause I want to
zigs.
join your leagues.
Tyreek Hill number
all
1.
right.
the
So
4.
that perfect segue. I have Hill number 2.
Oh wow.
I do think. Well, I mean, it's not number 1. I
Did you
think
do
there's
that thing?
obvious regression in play. Oh my God, I hate you. Okay,
Thank you.
That's a lot of hate.
Tariq
I feel like there's a
Hill.
lot of dissension in the core.
I do think we're going to see him start to wear down a little bit. They got to get Waddle more involved.
Just said that.
Did you say that?
It's the last year of his prime. After this,
No, I
decline.
didn't say it. I didn't say it was the last year of his prime.
Ah.
I just think he'll miss some games, like he did this year. He missed what, 2?
You
Something
did
like
a
that.
really good job of shaking things up with Lamb and Hill 1 and 2.
I didn't shake things up at 1 and 2, but I did say I had Hill number 1 a couple of weeks ago.
He did
But my
technically.
next 3 are a little bit shake up. But I'm not just gonna put DJ Moore at number 1 like you.
Can't wait.
Okay, so I'm going to go number 2,
I'm gonna murder you today.
Are you going to go
ahead.
number 2?
and
You
I
want some
agree
TP
with
there,
you
buddy?
on Amon. I think Amon is
Amon.
the clear choice for number 2.
Wow,
28%
stupid.
target share, 145 targets. I think that offense is going to only get better with Gibbs taking on more of a role next year. And I think he's going to score more touchdowns. I think he's going to regress back to the mean for receivers.
Why do you think
that
he's going to
range.
score more touchdowns? I want to hear.
I think Detroit
Is going to score
overall
more touchdowns. Wow.
So I think he's going to be part of it. So I would go Amon. And the thing is, he missed 1 week, sprained ankle, came back and played in the next 2.
That's
even
true.
with that, I just like him. He doesn't get hurt.
I love him.
No, awesome guy. Very
I just
cool.
think there's too many guys in that team that are going to score touchdowns. Namely, their tight end. Their tight end, and they want to run the ball when
There's
they're
balls
close.
to go around.
Talk
They're going to
about,
average. They're going to average
sophomore regression. Sam
25
Laporta.
points a game.
For who?
Not
Who?
more.
Sam Laporta.
Why?
Touchdown regression. I might agree with
Why?
that.
But why?
Because I
Oh, touchdown regression.
Yeah,
Which-
But I'm
touchdown.
saying the offense is going to
Usage-
get better.
no,
They're going to score
usage-
more. He's going to regress.
Usage is going up. Second year tight ends typically
Yeah.
do a little bit better, and he had a fantastic first year.
I just don't see Amon-Ra's touchdown totals going up. There's nothing to indicate it.
No, I just
Is that
said it,
actually
so
the opposite?
fact.
Jameson Williams in the
Vibes.
fold.
Fact.
I just don't.
Vibes.
Who? Vibes?
Vibes.
It is vibes. This is all vibes.
We're bringing it in. That's why I'm bringing it back in for my boy. So my number 2 is Aaron Rodgers.
You got-
top target, Garrett Wilson.
I
You're
like
going
this.
to get him cheap.
I like this.
And guess what? Aaron's going to get him the ball.
Get him.
Garrett Wilson for the last 2 seasons has been the top targeted wide receiver in, let's just call the category shitty throws, right? So he's been the most targeted shitty receiver in the league. You bring a guy in like Aaron Rodgers that knows what the fuck he's doing. A guy's obviously Superman.
You love
coming
Aaron.
back from these injuries. Garrett Wilson's going to have a huge year. I want to put Garrett Wilson number 1, but Aaron Rodgers being, what's he going to be this year? 42, 43?
You talk a lot about Aaron Rodgers for a guy that
Yeah, you
hates
flipped
him.
the coin, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, you got to give him props. He's a good quarterback. And
Can't
he's
deny it.
He's now
Kind
2
of like a
seasons.
vegan,
he's
how
2
they talk
years-
about meat,
2 years removed from Green Bay. All right, so I got to start.
I wonder what
I'm
Aaron's
letting,
doing.
dude, it's 2024. All right, I'm
doubling
trying
down.
to let go of hate. Rocky.
You're feeling Aaron.
I wonder what Aaron's
You're starting
doing.
to feel
I'll
Aaron a
start
little bit.
conversation with you about
You,
2 in the morning.
What?
You took him last
I
year,
wonder
too.
what Aaron's doing.
Yeah, but then Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying
That's what
that's the bane
happened.
of your existence. You're doubling down on Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson is going to do it this year.
He's going to do it.
Go get him.
As if injuries to old quarterbacks don't happen more often the more they happen.
They fucking don't, Zach. Just shut your mouth and pick number
Oh,
2.
I hope Hurts breaks his stupid leg.
Oh, wow, you root for injuries? My
Yes,
friends would say
yes.
that's appreciative of
I
you.
don't care.
Wow.
I also was like, get his elbows during
Crack
the Super Bowl. Who am I taking number 2? I'm taking Justin Jefferson number 2.
Who's that?
Who's that? The guy that would have been the number 1 if he didn't have a little hammy that bothered him for a little bit of time.
You think so?
He's going to have a good offseason. He's expecting a contract.
That dude sat out because he
Kirk
wanted
Cousins is
sit
going to
out.
come back on
Is
a
he?
cheap deal. I think they're going to be.
Why would he come back
Cousins
on a
ain't
cheap
coming
deal?
back.
Why would Cousins not come back? Why would
Because
he?
not. Why
'Cause
would
he's
he come back on a cheap deal?
Motherfucker's a family man, has been paid
Wow.
way more than he's had to over
That is true.
the last
He's made more
forever.
money than a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, his contracts
Yeah,
have
so
been
he's probably
awesome.
gonna say, you know what? I've made enough money. I don't want
you know
anymore.
what? I want to stay where I've been and try and build towards something
But do they-
potentially a second round exit next
I'm
year.
telling, you
Sure.
where, I'm telling you where Kirk Cousins is going
Kirk Cousins.
right now.
Okay.
Chicago
He's going
Bears.
he's going somewhere that's got a very potent offense
Look at this
with
guy.
young playmakers. Kirk Cousins is going to Pittsburgh to play under Mike Tomlin. And he's going to have a fucking fantastic year.
I don't see that at all.
This guy's so animated.
Yeah.
over
You
there.
guys don't. You're putting money on the fact that Kirk Cousins is leaving Minnesota.
He's
putting
gone.
money on the fact.
He's gone.
I don't think
You're
they're gonna
putting
pay
money
him
on
Josh
the
what-
Dobbs.
No.
I think he still wants.
You can't be so smug about it, like it's for sure he's saying.
Old man quarterback with good family has good money. Stays in town that he could potentially do
You
well
know
in
it.
because the team also
He's
loves him.
fucking every goddamn commercial he's in.
What?
He's in a jet with hot bitches and his shirt off. You can't tell me he's
Oh.
family,
Doing that
man.
in
Come
Minnesota.
on.
I think
Do that in Minnesota.
Flacco is going to Minnesota.
I think it's Flacco.
and I think Cousins will not get paid what he still thinks he deserves.
He will
He's
get.
been, he's been rumored to.
No,
just
he will get paid,
take-
but
take a
not in
cut.
Minnesota. It was Minnesota.
Yeah,
will
I
try
don't
to
think.
cheat.
There's two teams,
I think it's
Pittsburgh or Denver.
50-50.
Nah.
I don't know why you think it's more than
Those
that.
guys that they tried using at the end of the year, whether it be Pasternak, whether it be the rookie that they had, whether it be Nick friggin' Mullins, those aren't the
Do
solution.
you think that they think they're still in a
Kirk
window to
Cousins
win?
don't give a shit about that though.
Kevin O'Connell is what, in year 3?
Yeah.
I don't think he's interested in a rebuild. Kirk Cousins has already said
I
that
think
he would
he's
take
interested
a cut.
in a rebuild for
Justin
sure.
Jefferson is still technically cheap right now. They have Jordan Addison who looks really good.
But I think
they had decent
isn't
running.
Jefferson up for
Exactly.
I mean, he can leave.
It won't happen.
He's gonna pull a lip. What? Because he's a family man too.
He may get franchised, but he's proven that
Well, yeah.
he may not play under a franchise. Like, I agree with you in that I think he could have come back last year. And
Oh yeah,
didn't.
no, I think so too.
But that
yeah.
but that worries me.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota was really good even with a lot of the injuries that they had last year. What's to say this doesn't? I like Justin Jefferson. You're probably getting him at a little bit of a discount.
All right, so I guess I'll start with the third round here. Justin Jefferson, definitely not even in the top 5 for me. At pick 3, round 3, I'm going with Puka Nacua. The man, Palomalu, basically spirit animal on the offensive side of the ball. I think he's the guy. I think Cooper Kupp's the best wide receiver 2 in the league. And I think Nakua's going to have, if you thought this year was good, I think he's going to have a breakout year next year. And if you make that stupid fucking face again, I'm going to mash it.
Here's
like
why.
fucking hamburger meat,
Here's
okay?
why, you asshole. Because for the second straight week, you fucking vultured my pick. You fucking prick. Woo!
So it's a bad pick.
Okay, I would say this. I would say this about Puka.
It's a beautiful man.
Right there. I wanted
that's
to,
zigging
I wanted to put him
zagging.
in my top 5.
I don't like you. What?
I wanted to put him in my top 5.
You could have, Rocky.
But he finished just after it.
Yeah.
I do think
So 6.
he is somebody who's going to get more touchdowns. He didn't have a lot last year.
No.
But he will this year. I do think Kupp is going to be the usual Kupp, be out for about 8 games. And I think that, Stafford's got another year now. So
think he got
love
more
this
than another
pick.
year.
I
Yeah.
love this pick.
I
But
think they're
couldn't put him in
contenders
my
next
top
year. What do you
5.
guys think?
Can put him in your top 5 at all?
He's not in my top 5 now.
Bear in the league.
Okay, who do you got as through?
So my third pick,
Oh, I didn't do 3. So now you know when you see him do that, go back a little bit.
this is where I put Tyreek Hill. All upside, no downside. If you're getting him as the third wide receiver off
Minus
the board,
Beating children.
I do think he's getting a little bit older. I do think that the Miami offense will get figured out some, but I love the play caller.
Not in the regular season.
Yeah, and I love the play caller. I think at this pick, Tyreek is the choice.
Oh, yeah, it'd be crazy if he's there.
You fucking
Yeah.
prick. This is where I had
You don't
Puka.
hold it that long.
I thought,
Yeah, on my honor.
I thought
You
for
Wolverine.
sure I was going to come out. I was going to stun the world with this pick, with this
With
Puka
what?
pick.
Uh-huh.
Because it's,
So you get for talking
look
shit.
at Puka, right? Just look at Puka.
Nice hair.
The guy, he's solid.
I've said that a few times
If a
now.
wide receiver
Beautiful, nice hair.
rocks the mullet and does what he does in his rookie season, guess what? He's fucking legit. He's the guy in the room that you don't want to mess with. All right? You can look around, you can look at everybody else, you can look at the fucking dreadlocks, you can look at the colored hair,
What?
you can look at the nice cuts. You can fuck with them.
that
You
profiling?
don't fuck with the dude with the mullet that puts up numbers in his rookie season. I'm sorry, you just don't. Matt Stafford, great quarterback.
Some almost can fight.
Some they can. Matt Stafford, injuries aside, is one of the best, most elite quarterbacks in this league. The guy
most elite, I
throws
like that.
goddamn dimes.
I think it's elitist.
Elitist, yes.
Puka is insane. That rookie season is just a showcase of what is to come. He's going to be a lot more comfortable in this offense. Kupp is going to miss time. They do a great job, Sean McVay, of having a complementary cast around his main players. Case in point, he knew that Kupp was going to be Kupp and miss some games. What does he do? He goes out and he drafts Puka. And Puka just shows the world that so many teams passed on this guy. I love this pick. I think Puka at 3, it's not crazy. Get Puka.
Get Puka.
All right, my third is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown for all the reasons you said. He's actually my favorite wide receiver in drafts next year. I was really high on him last year and it panned out too.
Good to
but
know.
This is the guy that you need to be targeting. This is who has the safest year.
Mm-hmm. Sound it out.
Really the highest. I don't want to say highest for, but it's really fucking up there with him and Tyreek Hill. I'd say are the top 2.
And guess what?
What's the over-under on you trading a first-round pick you don't have for him?
Very high.
But guess what?
That
You
was like
have him
2
ranked
seasons ago,
3.
man.
You have him ranked. You ain't getting him because I have him ranked 1. That's where he belongs.
Good
He
thing we have a
belongs
redraft
at
league together.
1.
He's a likable guy. I think that he's the most consistent wide receiver.
Yeah, but he
think, in
dyes
our
his
league.
hair, Mark. So
That's all
you're
right.
really gonna take him number 1 because of that?
He's likable.
He's
He
likable.
comes
He's
from a good,
consistent.
strong family.
He's consistent.
I
He's
like
an
him
every
on
week,
Ra. He's a
15
workman-like receiver.
15
He
to
is.
20 points every week. You don't even think about it.
And he's never up
Yeah.
in his coach's face.
Wow, that was something. We'll talk about that later.
Hey, good. I just said
Good
Mike,
illusion.
my
Alluding
No.
to.
Alluding, foreshadowing.
All right, so round 4, Garrett Wilson Button has been pressed. Garrett Wilson, I do think, is going to have a big year as long as the old man's Achilles can stay intact. Same reasons we were banging a drum for him last preseason. The best quarterback he's ever going to play with, and he's produced with a lot lesser talent. So pretty easy for me. It's a layup. Garrett Wilson if Aaron Rodgers is healthy.
You guys are cut from the same cloth, you two.
I'm going to hop on
Kinda.
and say my 4th pick was also Garrett Wilson.
Oh wow, look at that.
For every reason you've mentioned. The one thing I will add is if you watched him last year, consistently wide open. And, he had to be open on more plays where the ball was nowhere near him than any other wide receiver.
I will say the reason I don't have him where you do is the Brees Hall effect. I do think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns not scored by him because of Brees Hall.
Yeah. I do see if Aaron stays healthy, you're going to see a Detroit Lions style offensive production out of the Jets. There's going to be a lot of points to go around that board.
Yeah, I do think it's a little worrisome that Nathaniel Hackett's calling plays, Aaron Rodgers' health concerns, Alan Lazard being healthy scratch and being expensive, and really, no McCall Hardman, no Randall Cobb is Randall Cobb. I think that plays a disadvantage to Garrett Wilson, where it might be an advantage for Zay Flowers being really the only good young talented receiver on his team. We're gonna get to Garrett Wilson a little bit later for me, anyways. But those are just my concerns about it. So
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Someone had
and
to-
that's
someone had to say
and
it.
I actually kind of like them better where you guys have them, but I think that the potential's there to really win you leagues next year if you're able to get him ahead of the curve. So we're gonna go. It's in my number 4. CeeDee Lamb. But I'm going to tell you why I have reservations, why I'm drafting him down this low. We kind of saw out of CD with Dak come playoff time what we've seen out of Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen in the past 2 seasons. That's frustration, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. They're allowing it to be caught on camera. CeeDee Lamb has some obvious frustrations with Dak. Dak, as we see, has limitations. They get into the playoffs. They're bounced. In their first game.
Hate to see it.
You hate to see it
it's like clockwork.
unless you're a Giants or an Eagles fan. But I just think if there's that growing frustration, it's only every little thing is going to then be magnified, right? Everything's going to be under the microscope, and you might see Dak potentially not throwing to him when other guys are open. You might see CD taking plays off. You might see CD pulling a Jay Jettas and nursing an injury for a few more weeks than he needs to be. But with that aside, I still think you have to roll the dice and just assume that CD's going to be healthy every week and CD's going to go out there, CD's going to get you production, and he's going to be a magnificent wide receiver if he plays every week.
I think this is another year that Dak gets injured, and the Cowboys front office will have signed Black Jesus, and CD will run like crazy. That's I think
crazy.
either way he's
Who's Black Jesus?
Jameis.
Jameis.
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston.
I hope they get him. I love
Jameis
Jameis. Jameis
Winston.
is going to be
Yeah,
good
but
once
you-
he gets
you
the
have to
starter
root
job
for him.
again.
Yeah.
You have to
Oh,
root
the
for him a
Browns
little
are
bit.
actually trying to sign him as a backup.
I want him to start.
As a backup behind who?
Well, I think they
Tim
if the
Boyle?
Deshaun Watson experiment ends.
Last time Jameis started, before he got hurt, he was like
He was looking
15,
good.
15 and 5
yeah.
or 2. Yeah, wow, yeah.
He was killing it.
That LASIK.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is Puka. I tried to zag instead of zig on this one,
Nobody knows what that means.
but he's young, he's healthy,
He's good looking,
disrespected
long
because he
hair.
didn't win Rookie of the Year. Rams are in win now mode as long as Stafford and McVay are there. I don't see a lot of downside with the pick. So yeah, number 4.
Man, you're a little late to this dance, dude. What are you out back smoking bones with the boys instead of in here trying to bang the betties? For crying out loud, you're late on all these picks. We ain't getting any of these motherfuckers.
Gosh,
What do you work in a newspaper?
What just happened there?
Yeah, dude, that was
What happened?
1930s called.
All right, here's what's happening. I'm on Ross St. Brown in round 5 for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's low.
You think so?
Yeah.
I have touchdown concerns. So to pick a
Sounds
wide
like a
receiver,
disease.
like
You do? How come you never mentioned that before?
what?
okay to
Come on,
publicly
not
admit
fair, man. My thing to pick a wide receiver as high as we're talking about here, I had to feel like they're gonna have the chance to score over 10, like double-digit touchdowns.
But let me just poke a hole in your theory.
Well, can you though?
Yeah, because you
You're
picked
just gonna
Puka
say something.
ahead of him, and
Yes.
he had as few touchdowns as Amon.
Yeah,
I mean,
but Amon has been there how many years?
but he's been
Number
more
3,
consistent
baby.
of a target.
Yeah, no, he's consistent, but he's kind of had a ceiling on his touchdowns. I think Nakua is rising. I think you're gonna get.
Nakua rising.
I think a whole off season they're going to kind of build that offense around getting him the ball, and I think he will be a focal point, and I think he'll get more targets in the end zone. I think the opposite of Amon-Ra, I think Laporte is going to get more, and I think they're going to continue to give Gibbs the ball when they're near the red zone or they're in the red zone. I think they have too many options. The
We can't-
Rams, I mean, it's just him and Cup to me.
We haven't mentioned Monty at all yet either. Monty's on a multi-year deal. Monty is a
I
goal
love
line
Monty.
vulture.
I have him in my top 5, did I?
You did.
Monty averaged
Number
almost
5,
5
yeah.
yards a carry
Top
this
10.
year. I mean, Monty is a
I think he
legitimate
was a
running
great
back.
running back when he was in Chicago, just behind a terrible line. So
Why don't you just shut up and tell us what wide receiver we're not going to draft it?
my
5.
number 5 pick, and this is where I'm putting JJ, and it was slightly. I did want to pick Puka.
Who's JJ?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
JJ. For all the reasons you guys have already mentioned, I think you were. Did you have him on your list?
Did you have him on your list?
You did.
He did.
Yeah.
Number
So for
2.
all the reasons you mentioned, I think it. I think whether he's in Minnesota or not, he's a
dunked it?
quality
I was
receiver.
gonna say that.
He is a target share. He is going to get.
I think that it's going to be an interesting year in Minnesota. That's why I'm scared of Jefferson.
Yeah, it's
I don't
gonna
know
be very
what the hell's going
interesting.
to happen. I honestly, I think it's a coin flip about Cousins, but I think it's a bigger coin flip about Jefferson. Does he want to be there?
He doesn't,
Is he
I
going
don't
to
think.
pressure
Not
them
only
to
that,
trade him?
Jordan
Is he going to hold?
Addison, year 2,
Yeah,
TJ Hawkinson.
I'm worried about him. To
I'm
me,
worried
it
about
has
it
the
too.
classic like script of crazy year and then just a downward trend.
Yeah, I think the Vikings tend to do this. They have really prolific wide receivers.
Wow,
They
where'd you
spend
get
money.
that take from?
Well, history.
Randy Moss?
Read a book.
Wow.
I don't know. I just think they put money in weird spots. They pay their tight end a shit ton of money. They did that with their quarterback too, and Justin Jefferson. I think the Vikings listen to the casuals on podcast mics. Like if they're going to not pay the guy, then I think that influences them.
I didn't get to say this earlier because I wanted it to move along, but I think I can't remember their coach's name right now. Anyway,
Kevin O'Connell.
there you go. I think that he wants to start a rebuild at this point. I think he wants to go get his quarterback. Think for a second. Third year, it's either you try to win now, he's under pressure. They don't win this year, he's on the hot seat. You get to restart if you go get a quarterback. You let the Jefferson contract go, or maybe you trade him for a high pick or something.
They're also going to let Daniel Hunter go on defense.
Does he really want to stake his job on Cousins coming back from an
Yeah, right.
ACL?
No, it's a good
To
point.
me,
That
it
makes sense.
makes more sense that they restart.
I just think wherever Jefferson goes, he's going to be what you drafted him at. I think that's more of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to pull apart or put together the narrative of the current Vikings stay together. But honestly, I do agree with what you're saying. Like it makes a lot of sense because O'Connell has somewhat of a resume. He took a really injured team last year and made them relevant to the very end. He made the playoffs in his first year. So if any coach has some type of collateral
this
to
is the
pitch
point.
a rebuild. Yeah,
This is it
No,
right
I
now.
know.
Another
Yeah.
year where they underperform, or then that's when he's going to be looking at the hot
I just
seat.
think let's see which way it happens. I'm just seeing the vibes are saying to continue with the momentum you have now, which is
Maybe.
keep Cousins. He's very likable and performed very well before he got hurt. Jefferson, keep him. Jordan Addison, he's cheap. Try and build somewhat of a defense. Brian Flores, I actually don't hate as a defensive coordinator.
You free up the Cousins money. You trade Jefferson. You
I don't
move
know
up
how
to
much
get
of
one of the top
Cousins'
4.
money is freed up. Isn't he on guaranteed shit? He'd take a pay cut to stay.
I'd rather trade Jefferson, go get a quarterback. You got Addison.
Hey, I was once saying this last season, so
And
I'm
Hawkinson.
not like
well,
totally against
times
it.
have changed.
I guess
It was
so.
a year makes a big difference. You should know.
Here's where I'm at on Jefferson, man. I think
I mean, you guys were the shit, right? And now you guys suck.
Well, and the Giants, same old Giants. Huh?
You
Now
guys
we're
kind
back-
of
now
suck.
we're
Though. We
back
beat
to
you. Last
Jalen
time we
Hurts.
played, I think we won.
Oh my gosh!
Did we win?
Was
Did
it
we
at-
win?
Was it at home?
Did we win? Oh, so you had to be home to win?
I'm just
Oh.
saying we've. I think we're like
Wait,
20,
you lost
20 and 0
6
in
of
the
your
last
last 7?
20.
6 of your last 7?
Oh fuck off! We're gonna be back to where we're gonna be.
Sure you are.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Because Daniel Dimes is the future.
I'm talking about the Eagles.
And I'm talking about the Giants.
Well,
Same
Eagles
old
suck.
Giants,
They're
man.
going with
One good year.
All right, listen, we're not
You-
going to
you
get
guys
sidetracked
last
in
year
this
or 2 years
bullshit
ago?
first week after the Super Bowl NFC rivalry horse crap. All right? Here's where I'm at on Jefferson. I think you're going to get
Shut up.
I think you're going to get lulled in to a big name and feeling the pressure to have to draft him before you should really draft him. For all the reasons that you mentioned, right? We don't know that Cousins is coming back. They have Addison. They have Hawkinson. They're letting Daniel Hunter walk on defense. I mean, there's a lot up in the air here. On top of, does he really want to play in Minnesota or does he want to go somewhere where he's in the limelight? I don't know. But to pass on Jefferson sounds crazy, right? Just like to pass
Yeah.
on Eckler sounds crazy. To pass on Saquon, all these things sound like I think you're going to get lulled in by a big name. And personally, I keep him off my board, and that's why he's not in my top 5. You know who is, though? Rashee Rice. Super Bowl champion, 2-time defending Kansas City Chiefs have not had a legitimate wide receiver 1 since Tyreek Hill left. Guess what? Rashee Rice stepped in as a rookie and performed very goddamn good.
I think it's Rasheed.
Above expectation. I don't care. I can call him whatever the hell I want.
Well,
Because guess what? He is going to be the number 1 threat in Kansas City. The guy's a monster. He's only going to get better with his route running next year. He's
right.
going to have more chemistry with arguably the best quarterback in the league. And we're talking now one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game with Patrick Mahomes. You get these guys going with that sixth sense type of chemistry that he has with Travis Kelce. I mean, your sky is the goddamn limit. This dude starts breaking off routes and getting into open
We'll
spaces.
talk about, let's save that for the Super
Break
Bowl
off routes
talk.
and get into open spaces. You're talking about long-ass touchdowns for this dude. Rashee Rice, get him while you can.
You mean the guy that was 4th in receptions in the Super Bowl? That guy? You're
matter.
picking him number 5?
We're gonna wait
Who
for
won, though? Who won? Who won?
That's true.
Who won the game? Who won the game?
Not the Bears.
Who's
Go.
still won?
Your
what are
turn.
we even on? I'm on 5.
5,
yeah,
Okay.
5.
I'm lost with the Justin Jefferson stuff that we just talked about.
It was a good talking
Yeah.
point because he's pretty low
Uh,
and not on
this is gonna be crazy. I've got Devonta Smith top 5.
That is crazy. That's a.
It is definitely crazy.
I'd like to remind people of Mike Evans, who finished top 4.
Why
It
is
can
that
happen.
crazy?
Why is,
Because any wide receiver that is low in this ADP can skyrocket. I think it happens pretty
Oh yeah,
often.
that's true.
Wait, you're talking about Mike Evans, wide
So wait,
receiver
are you
1 for
comparing
Tampa
Devontae
Bay
Smith
and
to Mike
comeback
Evans?
player
You're
of the
saying
year,
they're-
Baker Mayfield's number 1 target.
Actually-
you're comparing
actually,
Devontae
yeah.
Smith?
You're saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Devontae Smith and Mike Evans
Is that
are
the same?
equal.
No,
Oh, my
hey,
God.
I think they got a lot of similarities. It's actually the best wide receiver that we probably are going to draft as a franchise. I think he's going to pass Jeremy Maclin.
Well, but that's
his
a low
competition.
bar.
Well,
That is
yeah,
a very low
it
bar.
That's
is.
just the first thing, you know.
Has he passed J.J. Arcega-Whiteside yet?
He has the same amount of Super Bowl rings as
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Actually, no, he doesn't. He wasn't.
The hell are you talking about?
You're throwing me for a loop.
Mike Evans, 10 years, 1,000 yards,
Yeah. I'm
red
not-
zone target.
I'm not getting caught in this.
He's
I'm not
a big
saying.
receiver.
Listen, I'm not
You know,
saying
he's a
Mike
strong
Evans
man,
is the same thing
Devontae's
as
frail.
Hey, just say you're picking your guy.
What I'm trying to say is that there are wide receivers that don't get mentioned in top 10 that end up being in top 5s and take the route tree that Keenan Allen ran last year with Kellen Moore, and that is exactly what you're going to see with Smitty. He's on a contract year. He is extremely durable, extremely reliable. Knock on wood. He is going to play again. Almost broke reception yards, 2nd year in a row for the franchise. This guy is certified Philly.
Same
He's
reason.
going to be very
Same
good.
reason that him and Zay Flowers are both not going to be top 5 is because their offenses are not geared towards that.
We don't know what this offense
No,
is going
I
to look
know.
like.
I know what your quarterback is not going to drop back 40 times a
Kellen
game.
Moore said
No,
Dak
he's not.
Prescott and Justin
Come
Herbert.
on.
2 reasons.
I don't want him to drop back 40 times a game, but
And listen,
there's-
I like
they're-
Hurts outside of the Eagles.
They're going to be utilized.
2 reasons why you
He's
don't
not
draft
going to
Devontae.
drop back and just be tossing it
They're
all
going
game.
to be efficient. The
Okay.
passing game is going to be efficient and an uptick more than the run. I think it's going to be
You
like
saw what that Eagles offense looks like when A.J. Brown's not in it. Jalen Hurts was absolutely terrible.
that. Devontae Smith had almost 160 yards
He
receiving as the
did.
only
That's
wide
true.
receiver playing with Olamide Zaccheaus next to him.
He did. But
That's
I'll
true.
also
What do you
say
mean?
this. I've only seen ever
a good
in
job
my
on that
lifetime one wide receiver suplex WWE style on a tackle, and that's Devonta Smith because he weighs about 95 pounds.
And he
soaking wet.
stood up and probably got a touchdown. after
I
that.
agree with you, but I mean, game to game, it's not going to be like that. Brown's going to be playing.
Yeah.
And if he's not, maybe he has.
Smitty's benefacted from A.J. Brown being
Exactly.
next
So
to him
that's
and
what I'm saying.
without.
His point, I'm saying that his point doesn't make sense. But you saying that he had a great game when he wasn't there doesn't make sense
Yeah.
either.
Well,
Because
I mean, sure
he's
he
ever
did.
out for a period of time, teams would then have a chance to game plan, and he will not have 180 yards every game that A.J. Brown doesn't play.
Smitty is extremely reliable.
Stop calling him Smitty.
He's only trended upwards since he's been a pro.
That's baseball.
He's due money.
Okay.
The offense is going to be very pass efficient. I mean, I'm excited for it.
Top 5 is a reach for a guy that's not the number 1 wide receiver on his team.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
a lot of my example of Mike Evans is just that, an example of a wide receiver.
but he's
that
the
can't
number
get
1
there.
wide receiver on his
You
team.
think
Talking about him like he's Drake
You
London.
think anybody talked to right? You think anybody who was saying Baker Mayfield throwing passes to Mike Evans is a top 5 wide receiver? No,
Yeah.
but it happened.
I think we did.
I think we did.
we didn't say top 5.
You sure?
I mean, the tape's probably there. You can go
The tape
look
it? No,
yourself.
you can because you're saying it.
Well, you're the one that say the did
Well, why don't we recap our top 5? Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do
That's a
that.
good idea.
Oh,
I can remember.
I go first. I got to remember my top 5.
I can do mine if you're not ready.
Oh, I could do it. I got mental recall here. All right, so number 1, I had CeeDee Lamb. Number 2, I had Tyreek Hill. Number 3, I had Puka Nacua. At 4, this is where I'm. Who do I have at 4?
I'm on.
No, 5. I'm on. Who's 4? Oh, at 4, I had Garrett Wilson, and at 5, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right. My top 5. I'm going to give you a couple more, actually, just because I feel
Well,
like
that's
it. But
nobody actually.
top 5, CeeDee Lamb,
Unsolicited.
Amon, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, and JJ. Then I threw in a Puka and a Chase right there afterwards.
Good for
He just
you.
wants to make his list seem better, like it's going to be put
Yeah,
in the,
what a
in the
jerk
clip.
off.
I'm going to keep
No,
throwing
I'll
darts
throw
at
extra
this board.
ones.
Like it'll make it to TikTok.
It better not.
Sorry, you don't edit shit, so good luck getting those extra guys in.
Funny how many complaints I get about my takes, too, you know? We only hear
It's
his.
true.
All right. Number 1, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 2, Garrett Wilson. Number 3, Puka Nacua. Number 4, CeeDee Lamb. Number 5, Rashi Rice.
All right, way too early. Top 5
Rashy.
fantasy wide receivers. Yeah, it's just not correct. All right, let me do this list real quick. Number 1, Tyreek Hill. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 4, Puka. And number 5, Devonta Smith, Mr. Philly himself.
All right.
That is that.
That's bad.
Before we get into our Super Bowl breakdown, a quick word from our other partners, Chalkboard. The offseason is here, ladies and gentlemen, and you can benefit from our free fantasy group chat. Click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen. No bullshitting around. This is a really useful tool. Not only do you get to talk
Fucking
to
around.
300 other people and just 24/7 ask and answer questions about, hey, who should I start? Who should I look for in trades? What's the ADP on this guy? Blah, 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 blah. But you're also getting a cheat sheet from Rocky once the season starts. You're getting picks from Phil. You're also getting a start sit from Mark. It's a really cool app. It's totally free. Click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen. It not only helps us, but also helps you. So please join Chalkboard. Without further ado, the Super Bowl breakdown. I mean, how about this? This would be a fun little thing. What was everyone's favorite moment? It could be a commercial.
Why is your face so gay when
It
you
could
say
be.
that?
I do it on purpose just to get the trigger. Wow. How about we do our favorite moment? You know, it could be a commercial. It could be a bet that
My
somebody
favorite
won,
moment
perhaps.
is when the Chiefs scored at the end of the game and I cashed my ticket.
Yeah,
Favorite moment.
Mine too.
What about you, Usher? Shirt off?
No, Alicia
maybe?
Keys, man. Forgot
Yeah,
about
you
her.
did fall in love with
Forgot about Alicia Keys. That's all I got.
You forgot about her?
Forgot about Alicia
Never
Keys.
forget about Alicia.
Yeah, how much you cash? Huh? What'd you bet? How about that? We can talk about that.
Whoa.
Anyone, what did we bet on?
I bet Chiefs money line. Well,
Yeah.
I had a parlay, like a 12 leg, hit 10 legs. I needed old jerk off Pacheco to score a touchdown, and
Did he?
Kittle. No,
Pacheco did score.
no.
I'm pretty
Pacheco
sure
did score. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
He rushed the fucking first one in.
No, he didn't. Look it up. And then I had Kittle, who needed over 4.5 catches.
What do you have? One?
Yeah,
Two?
he had one. Then he got hurt.
Yeah, he walked away, walked in the tent.
Yeah,
My favorite like George Kittle thing was like, I will come back with a vengeance.
But I
When
won
he,
money
like,
line.
lost
I
to the
did like
Chiefs.
200 money line.
Yeah, he did not score.
Yeah, only 92 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I decided I wasn't gonna. I haven't really done any sports betting all year. I lost 100 in week 1 and then said that's enough, and then I haven't
Wow.
since the Super Bowl.
No balls.
And then I just self-discipline. What's what that's called?
Huh?
Self-discipline.
Well, you go out and drink.
Smart
so
financial.
it's like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I do that because I didn't spend the money on gambling.
Okay.
Come on, Phil.
Were you gambling with your liver?
I'm a spry young buck still. I got it in me.
It all ends at some point.
Anyways,
His
I
liver,
wasn't.
just like George Kittle, will come back
I'm
with a vengeance.
being smart with my
Speaking
money.
of, I was watching the game, and
What game?
Had a few
The
Coke
big
and whiskeys. The big game. Yeah, the big game. And Mahomes threw that interception. They were down 10 points.
You got a hard on.
And I texted my friend who's with the Haps for live money line, and I said, "What's the odds on Chiefs live money line?" And it was plus 370. So I threw some
Yeah, that's nice.
threw some beans down on
You
that.
mix
Yeah.
your whiskey with Coke? What do you take courses at the local community college too? What's going on there?
I was at my friend's house. You just do what you can. At first, I was just drinking and neat.
They
but-
made you. They held you down, put the Coke in the whiskey.
No, I've never had Makers with Coke. I want to try it. I had it neat before. Hey, what the fuck did you guys do?
We tried.
What did I do? I watched Taylor Swift come up on my television about 12 times.
And you were excited.
And I watched a bunch of, every time they did, the kids cheered. There were a lot of kids
Yeah.
at the party that we went to because I wasn't invited to an
Taylor hates out of
adults-only
hand.
party. In this
I've come
goddamn
around. The
studio.
Taylor hated so much. I'm back on the other side.
Do you like
So
Taylor? Or you
no,
don't
I don't
Taylor?
like her, but it's like I'm defending her now. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
why you just hate the person because they're
Come
on TV? I mean, look,
we've seen it before, not to this extent. I mean, she picked
Jessica
probably,
Simpson, Tony Romo?
Yeah, she probably picked like the best boyfriend at the most essential time ever in the
Maybe
history
he's the
of
best.
like sports dating. Her being on top, him being on top.
Well-
But you know what? I don't mind it. We got to see. I'm gonna just hop on the internet trend here. We got to see Ice Spice throwing
Hey.
some devil signals up in the
Hey.
goddamn booth.
I hate talking about this, right?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Just talk about the game.
What in the
right?
big
Let's
what
talk
in the
about
big media?
game.
People turn off ESPN and tune into Guys on Sports because we talk about the real stuff.
Start talking about Ice
Okay.
Spice. I'm out.
Yeah. So how about this? What was there a play that turned the game? Because I
Yeah.
think we would say it looked like the 49ers had it.
I don't. I
I don't know if they ever. I never felt like they had it.
Me-
Well, I
me
think
too.
that they were.
Me
The
too.
defense was outplaying the Chiefs' offense.
Yeah, but I feel like they squandered their they should have been up by more, and the fact
Oh,
that they
yeah.
let Mahomes hang around, I never felt like if he was within 10 points, I feel like he's going to win the game.
So,
Yeah.
so did it hinge on a certain play?
The fumble on the punt, the
Yeah,
hitting
big
the
time.
guy's leg, that was the
Hits
play.
the back of a leg.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it. You do a kickoff return 300 times? Doesn't happen. Happens. It changes the entire game.
Yeah.
Totally changed the complexity because that-
Complexion, I think.
prior to that, whatever. Prior to that touchdown reception by CMC going in untouched, it really looked like it was like, all right, CMC's gonna find his groove. This guy's about to go off. He's about to hang fucking 2+ on this team.
I didn't think
and
that.
this ain't even gonna be close. And they kind of shied away from getting the ball in the CMC's hands. I felt like they put him in obvious situations where Frank Clark and the defense were able to kind of key on what they were doing, and I just feel like San Fran kind of shut the offense down a little bit. I feel like they got a little lackluster.
Shanahan. I don't think Shanahan. Hey, I'm glad the Niners have Shanahan at this point because this is their fate.
Well, they beat
That's
you
happening.
guys, so.
I mean, when are we going to talk about the Niners like we do about the Cowboys? I mean, they don't do it. They're
soon,
choke artists.
Soon.
Yeah, it's
Shanahan is 0-3 in Super Bowls.
Well, not only that,
Or
I
0-2.
think he made a real mistake in not kicking off the ball in the overtime period.
Well, you heard what I'm sure we've all heard what the Niners players are saying that they were either unaware or
Yeah.
there
Chiefs
wasn't a
too.
strict.
I've heard some
no,
of
the
the Chiefs
Chiefs said
players.
that they
I just
were-
read it just now. No.
Oh, I saw a report that they were doing meetings for every single playoff game about overtime.
Well, here's the
And
deal,
they had
too.
a distinct plan.
What killed me is Shanahan said he went by the analytics. Analytics.
There are
for
no
what?
analytics.
They just changed.
Yeah.
He got caught, to me, not knowing. Now, do Super Bowls go into overtime often?
No.
But, I mean, you're getting paid millions.
Yeah, you got to think about at
Yeah,
least
somebody in your
more.
team's got to know the overtime rules. To me, even if KC, even if they had done the exact same thing, went down there, scored the touchdown, if the 49ers got the ball, then they know they can't go for a field. Like, it
They have to
just
go for
changes
two
everything.
if they score. Yeah.
So I think that was a pretty major.
Well, they
It
also
was,
stopped
but
the
my
CMC.
point is, yeah. So there were a few things, the missed extra point, but the major one that made it a game
Blocked.
was the fumble. The overtime thing is crazy. I don't know how a head coach or the face of an organization that big in the NFL doesn't know the rules to the damn overtime.
I still can't believe that. Is that like
No,
actual?
well, he said that was their plan. I'm calling bullshit because there's no way that your
you
analytics
don't think
team
he
could
didn't
say.
know the rules? Or
I
you-
think he didn't. No, I don't
like,
think.
He,
I don't think he
like,
did.
studied it a whole lot. Like
I
he had
think
to
they-
compartmentalize one thing, and it was
Listen,
probably.
I
not
didn't
that.
really know them until like I was halfway through the
No,
quarter.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. How do you
All you gotta
kick
know
the
is
ball
that-
off?
But I mean, you
The
saw
other team gets the ball now.
You saw it was a possibility. So you take one coach
And the
say,
quarter, the
figure it
time
out.
doesn't matter either.
Figure it
Oh,
out.
yeah, because yeah.
So my understanding, so he thought that by kicking the field goal in overtime, that Kansas City wasn't going to get the ball.
No,
If he thought that, that's
No.
fireable.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
fireable
think he
offense.
thought
no.
that.
He thought. I guess no. What are you talking about?
Because I mean, obviously, so I mean, even like regular season rules, they kicked a field goal. Kansas City still gets an
It's
opportunity.
like you
to,
have.
Yeah.
It's like you
to
almost
score.
have to go for.
He also shoulda went
have
for
to
it,
score.
I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got to go for it, and you also have to
No,
go for two.
I mean, no,
Right?
because then if they miss the three, Kansas City gets the ball and they
They
could
just
just kick
They
a field
kicked
goal.
the field goal.
Yeah, but-
Yeah.
That's where it got a little murky for me because it
But
was
it-
like, all right, was San Fran really going to go for it on fourth
I
down,
mean-
or are they going to take the obvious points? And hope
No,
that
but
the
we're
defense
talking about
holds?
taking the ball.
Dude, you're playing Mahomes
see,
in
that's-
overtime.
That was the mistake. Is he took the ball.
Yeah.
If he gives it to Kansas City, he's got all the power.
And
He
you
knows
also
where
know
to-
exactly what to do. Yeah.
Well,
I
and it
still
helps
think you
because
go
if they
for
don't
it.
score, then you know you.
I mean,
only
literally,
gotta
they
score
have
three.
the leverage for the rest of the game,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, it was a big.
It's so crazy how that
mistake.
flips now that the rules have changed. Like,
that's
you don't
what I
want it
think caught
first.
him off guard. I don't think he thought through that. I think normal
You think Fred Warner
overtime,
knew?
you take the ball in every case, right?
Yeah.
This is the one time you don't with these rules because,
Yeah.
like I said, Casey goes down and scores, kicks the extra point. You get the ball.
Score for two.
You have 4 downs every time you need to get a first down, and you score, and you get to choose if you want to tie it or win the game
It's
with a
almost like an
2-point conversion.
offensive coordinator's paradise. Like you get all 4 downs, you're going for 2. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's almost like
Changes
he,
how you
it's
call
almost like he
the
wants
plays.
it. It's almost like he should have
I do think it's interesting though, since we could talk a little bit more about the game. Rasheed Rice, who was in your top 5, I think has to show a little bit more because I think what the Niners were able to do was kind of show that they don't really have a. Even though I thought Rasheed Rice, blossomed toward the end of the year, it didn't look like they had a number 1 wide receiver in that game.
Which is fair, but I
Bars.
think going forward, I think he was their number 1. I think he's only going to exploit that relationship that he has with Mahomes going forward. They're going to have to get somebody on the other side of the line of scrimmage, obviously. And then if Kelsey ends up, calling it quits, that's also going to possibly change the dynamic too, because I don't know that Noah Gray steps into that role and everyone's as threatened by Noah Gray's, appearance as they are Travis Kelsey's. I think there's some work to be done, but I think Rashee Rice at least showed enough in his rookie season that going forward, he will be Mahomes' first look.
And what do we think about the 49ers next year?
I mean,
I mean,
10, 11 wins, a playoff win.
I'm starting to buy into some of the Purdy bullshit that I'm seeing online,
I
man.
like
Maybe he's
Purdy.
a game manager.
Well,
maybe
he
he's,
played well last
maybe
night.
he's
I
not
mean,
the
he played
dynamic
well, but
quarterback.
his arm isn't strong.
That's true.
I think
That's
I
his
mean,
one weakness.
Let me say something. I think that they I feel like they escaped Green Bay. I truly do. I think that he made so many mistakes
Yeah.
Part of that
against
was
the
Moody
Packers
too, though.
but I think he made a lot of mistakes, and he showed that
And the Lions.
he's not going to be consistent. And again with the Lions,
The Niners, I'm down on. Purdy, I think, has gained a little bit of my respect because he played a really good game. I mean, honestly, I don't know if Purdy was a problem at all.
The only thing that I've
go,
seen,
sorry.
again, the only thing I've seen that I can knock against Purdy is his arm is not one of the stronger arms. So if there's any contact, because there was one pass, the wide receiver was open, he made the right call, and he underthrew it. And at first I thought it got tipped, but when you looked, it really didn't get tipped. The guy's hand was in the way, and he diverted his arm just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the NFL,
you got to be able.
most make that play still.
So would you compare him to Trent Dilfer then? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
That's a good
Well,
point.
when he won the Super Bowl, though, his arm
Nick
wasn't the
Foles?
same. He had an injury to that shoulder, right?
Who? Trent Dilfer?
Yeah.
because when he was young, he had like pretty decent arm.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
His
he had-
knock was always that he couldn't.
I watched that Baltimore Ravens thing. He had an injury. His arm used to be pretty.
called
I mean, there was
scapegoat
a
in the
reason.
business.
Oh, okay.
There was
You're
a
a
reason
jerk.
Purdy was drafted last, and I think it was his arm. Like part of it was his arm strength, not his accuracy.
I'm worried about the 49ers.
Really,
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
Good.
It's because
turmoil.
It's because
I like it.
Look at the roster. Guys got to get paid.
They're
There's,
already getting paid,
There's
too.
guys getting old. And this is the point where you have a roster, you usually cash in, you win, you pay the quarterback, and the quarterback has to carry you with a roster mixing and matching.
And
They're
that
not
might
going to be able. They just traded for Young. They're not
they traded,
re-signing
but-
him.
Yeah, they're
No,
probably
they're
not.
not.
They're paying
Somebody's-
$181 million as of last year. Like,
Debo's going to come up soon. What has he got? Like another year?
something like that.
Yeah.
That's a great point too. I mean, there was
Good.
some turmoil even going into that big game because Chase Young was already on social media saying that Montez Sweat is his boy and he loves playing along Montez Sweat, and the Bears just signed Montez Sweat long term,
Which was a great
Chase
move.
Basically indicated that he's not going to be sticking around in San Fran.
Well, and even Ayuk had a cryptic tweet.
Oh, yeah, I
after
saw
the
that
game.
too. Yeah, like, know what you have or realize what you have.
Yeah.
Or,
No, it's an odd
Something like
mix
that.
because like I like Purdy. I want to love Purdy. I think he
Why?
is more.
Why do you want to love
It's a
him?
great clip.
He's a great guy. He's
Intro.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he aligns with my morals.
I think
a
Lamar's
big
a
deal
great
to me.
guy too. Lamar's a great guy,
You
right?
don't think Lamar's a great guy?
Yeah, but Lamar is a great guy with a ton of talent. I don't know.
You don't want to love him though.
He's just not my type.
Wow.
I think Brock Purdy is who Brock Purdy is. I think there was a reason he was drafted that late.
You like an all-American
so
type.
you're telling me that if you're a general manager, like you're really, I mean, yeah, like it.
He is a general
They
manager,
need to be a
essentially.
leader. They need to be like X, Y, and Z as a quarterback, face the franchise, blah blah blah. That matters, but like that much. Like it sounds like that matters a lot.
I think it does matter a lot, but I want to keep the joke going.
I
think it plays a factor.
I
Like you
refuse
can't
to allow
not
the joke to
consider it.
continue.
Probably not.
I
That's a great show.
yeah.
Hey, one thing I do want to say:
Oh,
Juwan
God.
Jennings almost won MVP, which is pretty cool. And 2, is the only other player to throw a touchdown and catch a touchdown since Nick Foles.
Who
If,
did win
if
the
the
MVP?
49ers would have
Mahomes?
won,
Yeah.
I
I didn't
think
watch it
Jennings
that
had
long.
a case for
Yeah.
it would have been Jennings or CMC.
He was like plus 30,000.
it would have been Jennings. It would have had to be.
I don't know.
No,
man.
I think it would've been
CMC had what, like
CMC.
$150? $150.
Yeah,
and
but
and
Jennings
tutty?
threw a touchdown, caught a touchdown,
Yeah.
and he got that offense opened up when they decided to go to their third receiver when they couldn't get anything
Unsung
going.
hero.
yeah.
He had
Hey,
a
we all picked
fantastic catch. He had that great throw.
We all picked Chiefs to win. So we know what we're talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we all picked not against Mahomes, and
Yeah.
that was it. I
We
think we got it
I'm
right.
saying
I can't believe he was an underdog. Like, I can't believe they were literally like a 2.5 point underdog.
He sounds like Kermit the Frog, though.
Yeah, he
I
does.
just
What do you got against Kermit?
I'm going.
I like
Disneyland.
Kermit.
I love
Kermit's
Kermit.
a frog.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a man.
Big
I don't
Kermit
know.
guy.
I think in 20 years we might be talking about a different goat. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think in
Yeah,
the
well,
next
Rocky have the same
5
hate for
years
him.
we're talking about a different goat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, hey, that was cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this entire episode. I know you did. Comment whose top 5 is the best. Comment any takes you had from the Super Bowl. Join Chalkboard. Bet through Thrive. We'll see you on the next one. G1 Podcast on all your social media handles. Peace.